So what could you suggest, or what have you experienced in terms of being in a state that you know? I mean, it's difficult because you obviously just talked about having states of vulnerability and fear, and that being a necessary sort of evil to project you into the next state of love. But let's say you find yourself in a situation or environment which isn't conducive to love and is no longer of love. How do we recognise that? What to do about changing it? What are some sort of helpful hints in terms of being in that state? What should someone do?
Yeah. So I can.
First of all, I mean, how do you first recognise that state?
I think for me, and I can speak about a previous relationship that I've been a part of, I guess. Although I see love as much bigger than relationships, it's an example that hopefully others might be able to relate to. Is that I didn't recognise that it wasn't love or the love I was looking for so much as that other things in my life started falling apart. My body, I found out I had adrenal fatigue. Although I was always quite super fit and healthy, my body wasn't absorbing all of these different vitamins and minerals. Yeah. I had no libido. My creativity wasn't. I'm quite a creative person. My creativity just was not flowing. I kind of lost my spark. Felt like I lost my Jessness. Yep. And a part of me thought, maybe this is just getting older. Maybe this is being responsible. Maybe it's because I have, responsibilities now, and this is just what happens. And then
I think that's a really important point. I think in terms of especially working with and treating people, rather than looking at what's wrong with me or what's wrong with my body, actually reversing and say, what is my body trying to tell me about, and what am I doing wrong in my life, or what's wrong in my life, rather than what's wrong in my body. And when you change those elements, that your body changes correspondingly.
Absolutely.
And resets. So that's often an important point when everything seems to be going wrong and you can't control it, actually to look at your life rather than your body.
And it was almost this time 2 years ago where I found out I had the adrenal fatigue, got a list from the doctor of the things I needed to take. And this is when I already wasn't sleeping at night as well. So I was like, oh my God, I've got a list of things I need to take to balance out my hormones, to balance out my vitamins and minerals, to help me sleep at night, I was like, okay, there's another problem here.
Rather than looking at what's going on in your life.
Rather than looking at what's going on in my life. And so then I just had to, I saw therapists, and my partner at the time and I went to only 2 sessions of a relationship therapist and split up on the second session. But he also, it was like this slow loss of spirit for both of us. Yeah. But we still cared about each other, so we didn't know what to do. Yeah. And so it just got to the point where seeking out external help, they just asked this question of like, why are you doing this? What, and it was almost like neither of us wanted to give up or to fail the other person. Yeah. And so neither of us were being true to ourselves. Yeah. And there were things that I knew, like he wanted to start a family, and he was okay with moving forward with our relationship like it was. Yeah. Whereas there was this part of me that was like, I can't. Yeah. I just can't.
And how did you know that? How did you feel that? Or how did you? What gave you that sense that you can't?
I couldn't sleep. I couldn't. My friend, like I stopped wanting to hang out around my friends. People were just, I wasn't feeling like I was being myself. And I guess I journaled a lot. I was fantasizing about all of this stuff and all of this life, and then I had this life here in front of me. And after a while, I guess, so it was a very slow process of consciousness. It wasn't like I had a moment.